How you going, guys? Curtis from Cutting Edge Engineering. So today's job is going to be part 2 of rebuilding the steer cylinder for the 10-ton forklift. If you missed part 1 where we disassembled the cylinder and repaired the rod, there'll be a link in the description below. But our material and our seals have arrived, so we're going to get on to making the new barrel. So the piece of material we got is a piece of 5.5 inch by 4.5 inch hone tube. The ID is smaller than the finished diameter. Because I need to weld on the mounts, that will cause the tube to shrink, and I will need to hone it to finish size. So if I was to buy the tube with the diameter already to size, there would be a high possibility I would oversize it when I hone it. And the OD is about 9mm oversized, so I will have to machine that down. The reason for that is we couldn't get a tube closer to the finished size. Because I need to machine the OD and the ID, there are going to be a few setups. And because this cylinder has glands on both ends and the piston is fixed onto the rod, we have no allowance for any misalignment. So the first thing we're going to do is get the OD running concentric with the ID. So now we've got everything running concentric and the ends are faced true. I'm going to set it up with a pipe center so we can turn the OD to size. Righto guys, so that's the OD machine to size. What we're going to do now is take it over to the welding area so we can weld on our mounts. To weld on the mounts in the correct location, I have already taken measurements off the original barrel, and I will be using 1, 2, 3 blocks, so I got everything nice and level. I'm going to double check my measurement and make sure the first plate is square, and then tack it in position. So I'm happy with those plates, they're spot on in the right position. Now we can take it to the rotator and weld it up. To weld it, I'm going to be using ER70 S6 welding wire in a 0.9 size. I'm going to be backing that up with Argo Shield metal core, which is 90% argon, 10% CO2. And I'm going to be running that hot and fast at 28 volts and 9 meters of wire a minute. That's going to create a spray transfer for a nice clean weld with minimal spatter. When welding on these mounts, it is critical that I get a 100% sealed weld joint because hydraulic oil runs through these plates into the cylinder to create hydraulic pressure for the cylinder to work. So if there's any leaks, the cylinder's going to fail. Righto guys, so that's our plates fully welded. I'm really happy with how that turned out. We're going to let this cool down for a while because that is extremely hot.
Kill it. What you got? Where's he? Where is he?
Drop it. Sit. Stay. Stay. Right. Get it. Our new barrel's cooled down enough now, we can get it set back up in the lathe. So what we're going to do first is bore it out to within 0.3 of a mil of its finished ID, and that's so we don't have to hone so much material out of it. But before I bore it, I'm going to show you how much the barrel shrinks in the heat affected zone where it's been welded. So I'm going to be using my bore gauge to measure it, and I already have set it at 114.3 mil, which is the barrel's current ID. So I'm going to do my first measurement in the center of the barrel away from the heat affected zone, and that's measuring to within spec. Now I'm going to measure the heat affected zone, and that's measuring at 0.45 of a mil undersized or tighter in that area. So that just goes to show how much welding has affected the material. That has shrunk almost half a mil, which is about 20 thou. And that's the reason I got the material this ID, because it gives me some material to clean up. If I had it at size, I would definitely oversize it trying to hone it.
Oh no.
Righto guys, so I have just discovered I've had an oversight of a measurement. I went to test fit the gland to make sure the threads were going to engage correctly, but the gland is nearly size for size with the finished diameter of the barrel. So I've only got about 0.15 of a mil of clearance around the gland, and I machined this to within 0.3 of a mil, so I had some material to hone out. So what I need to do now is reset up the boring bar and machine it out so the gland fits without overcutting it, and then I'm going to have to reset up the threading tool and chase that internal thread. So I've got that board and I have double checked my measurement. I've only got 0.1 of a mil to remove with the honing process. That's about as close as I like to get it when I also need to hone it. So now I can do what I was going to do and make sure the threads engage correctly.
That is so lucky.
I meant to do that. So that worked out perfectly, exactly how I had planned. So I did dodge a bullet there. That gland fits perfectly, which means I don't have to chase those threads. But before I flip it to do the same to the other end, I am going to do an upgrade to it. I'm going to machine a relief into the end of the barrel so I can fit an O-ring onto the gland. And what that will do is help seal the threads off from the elements like moisture and dirt getting in there. Righto guys, so that's all the lathe work completed on our new barrel. Now what I need to do is set it up in the milling machine so we can drill the through holes for the hydraulic ports. All I need to do is find the center of our first oil port and then drill an 8mm hole. If I got my measurements correct, when I move the table over 300mm, I should be in the center of our second oil port. So that's all the machining work completed. All I need to do now is hone it. To set up the honing machine, all I need to do is put in the barrel parameters. So I'll be putting in the ID and the length. I'm also going to set the end stops for the stroke length. Because of the size of the barrel and we only need to remove 0.1 of a mil, this is not going to take very long. So I'm going to start with roughing stones and I'm going to get that to within 0.01 of a mil of our finished size.
You going that way or doesn't matter?
So we've got that measuring to within 0.01 of a mil. You guys saw that in real time. That was literally a couple of minutes. Now we're going to change out the roughing stones and put in our finishing stones. And we're going to let that run for a cycle of 2 minutes. These do not remove material, but we just want to get that surface finish spot on. So that's all of our honing completed. I've just let that drain for a little while to get rid of that excess oil, and that surface finish has come up really nice. Now what we need to do is get it back over the bench so we can start to reassemble it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get this band in a one piece, so what we have had to get is a piece of wear band material that comes in a roll. We will cut it to length and then glue it in place. But that's not going to be an issue because that does not actually hold back hydraulic pressure. That is what the O-ring is for. All that band does is hold the gland in the center of the barrel. So that's all of the seals fitted for our glands. I've also got new O-rings for the hydraulic fittings. I'm also going to fit the new O-ring and piston seal on the rod. Now that we've fitted all of the seals, I can get the barrel set up in the press and start putting this back together. Righto guys, so that's our steer cylinder completely rebuilt, but there is one more thing that I need to do to it, and that's give it a coat of paint. Tear it. Righto guys, so that's the painting done and the job completed. There is a little bit in material and seals, but we were able to turn this around in less than a day, and that is a hell of a lot quicker than trying to get it from the USA. Now what I need to do is get it back over to my mate's place, reinstall it on the forklift so we can get this machine back to work. Hope you enjoyed the rebuild. Thanks for watching. Righto, guys. All right. So now I can do what I would. So now what I'm going to do. Oh, what? Right. Fuck me. Brain's just gone.
Don't drink so much coffee.
So that's about as close as I like to get it. Oh wait, what'd you say? So that's about as close as I like to get it.
Oh my god.
What was after that? That's about as close as I like to get it. Oh my god, I did it again. That's about as close as I like to get. I did it again. That's about as close as I like to get it, but I also need to hone it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I wasn't even recording.
Are you serious?
No, I'm joking. Oh, you can hear how tight it is.
What?
It's fine.
Why?
It's the stands.
Fuck is uncomfortable.
Oh, we'll find some another way.
Guys. No, we need to rest on something.
Oi, yay. Yeah, good.
That was in reverse. That should have gone ping across the shed.
You need some more of them. Uh-oh. Is it dried up?
Surely not. Oh, that's my finger.
Oh my god. What the hell was that? Just gotta have the magic finger. Can I show that?
I can't read it.
What is it? DCM.
5-star? I think it's 5-star.
5 rolls.
Okay. Is that an R? I sucked at Japanese.
Or, yeah, I'd say it's the quantity, 5.
5 rolls of amazing painting tape. It's 50 to 25 metres. That's terrible.
That's why he sent it to you, because it's terrible.
That's good, eh?
Thank you, Mr. Viewer.
Yeah, thank you very much. How good is that? Need some more of that stuff.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
Come on, Arnold, here, come here.
He doesn't want to go back in the office. Come on. On your bed.
Come on, come here.
Good boy, good boy. On your bed.
On your bed. Good boy.
Come on. Good boy. Lay down. Lay down.
No.